Once upon a time, there was a little girl. She had big buck teeth and horrible skin, and she didn't fit in anywhere. She kept moving around to different schools, and as her family moved, and nowhere that she went did any of the cool kids accept her. She was, in fact, teased quite a bit, and although she hated school, she really loved getting along with her mother. She had a wonderful relationship with her mother, who treated her like a friend. So there were some things that went right in her life. And so she did find respite at home and in books. In books and sometimes in movies, mostly books for this little girl, but any type of art can do the same thing. This little girl loved books because there was nobody to judge her. She could visit completely different worlds, different galaxies, different universes when she would read the books. And all the people there felt as dear to her as an actual friend. In the books, there were places that there were scenarios that made her think critically, and there were places that she had never and would never have imagined if she hadn't read that book and visited the imagination of another person. There were other worlds with really strange aliens or different universes or different planes of existence, and all of these places became her home. She was able to think about these abstract concepts even as a very small child because she visited these places as if they were real in her imagination. And she realized as she grew that she was able to get good grades and able to, figure things out in life. And although it wasn't as exciting as in the books, at least at first, she was able to do a lot of this more quickly and more creatively than other people because she had lived in those other places, other worlds, other universes before. And I think most of you can guess the ending of that story is that I'm that little girl with the big buck teeth. And I did have braces. My teeth are still a little big, but at least they don't stick out anymore. I don't know. Maybe it would have been cute. I think it's cute on a lot of people. But the fact is that art in the form of literature absolutely changed my life, my thinking, my ability to think in abstract concepts. And it gave me hope in a childhood where I didn't have very many friends. And I could see how things could be. And I could see how beautiful the world could be. And let's switch over to another thing. Because, well, first let's get grounded here a little bit out of the story. So a lot of you probably identified with my story. And the way I'm going to apply it to the lesson today is that when you make art of any form, it doesn't have to be literature. It can be visual art, movies, dance, obviously. Anything, any type of art, sculpture, whatever, you are impacting the lives of people who come in contact with your art. You are opening them to a completely new realm of existence that they may never have thought of ever if you hadn't created that piece of art. And so a lot of times as dancers and as artists, we ask ourselves, why is this important? This is just stupid. I should be at work, or I should be like cleaning my kitchen. How many of you think that on a daily basis? I'm not joking. I know that in context with the story I just told and how art impacted my life and changed my ability to think, so I can think and be more open-minded, it seems foolish to be like, oh, I should go do the dishes. Because who cares? In 2 days, nobody's going to care if you did the dishes. But the art that you read or looked at or interacted with or watched can change your life. So of course you should be making art. And I mean, there are bills to be paid. There are regular jobs that you have to go to, a lot of us, most of us. But I want you to put away the notion forever that your art is unimportant. So for all time, I want you to get rid of that. I want you to understand that you're impacting the lives of others when you create a choreography, when you create a costume, when you create a painting, anything. It's important. It is important to you. It's important to your well-being to integrate your art into your life. But it also is important to all those who get the opportunity to view it. So, you know, like Tolkien's view of Lothlorien and Middle Earth itself, and Brian Froud's view of From the Dark Crystal. Like, those things have informed my art for a long time, and I think that's probably obvious in my art, a lot of it. And the art of many people, you know, in the early century, and all of their art impacts my art. But more than that, it shapes my view of the world around me and enables me to enjoy beauty. Like, if you don't have any context, many times a lot of types of beauty are lost to you. And when you create art, it creates context. So when I looked at one of Brian Froud's artworks of a troll or whatever in the woods, and if you don't know who he is, you need to look him up and you'll see why it's so amazing. Then when I take a walk in the woods, my imagination is lit up by this host of invisible creatures, and I can see the beauty in every leaf that he showed me through his artwork. Otherwise, I might have just thought of it as commonplace. So this all translates to dance as well. And I know that our beloved Rachel Bryce has a story about a dancer. I don't remember the name of the dancer, but it was what made her want to belly dance. She went and saw a dancer. She followed the zurnas, another form of art. The zurnas are a musical instrument. And they're very loud. So she heard them way across the fair that she was at, and she walked towards them and saw a dancer, and it made her weep because it was so beautiful. And it informed her view of beauty for the rest of her life. That one performance by one dancer. So I want you to understand that what you're doing is important. So let's, remove from that story also and go to another one. In every war, our country has always sent out entertainers to help entertain the troops. And there's a reason for that. It's because helping someone to escape for just a little while, even if it's just like some comedy or anything, if their truth, if their life is really dire and difficult, just that little moment of escape to another world that's peaceful or magical or imaginative or mind-bending, amazing in any way that pulls them out of the cycle of negative thoughts and sadness that they're in. My cat's coming up here. Then it's worth it. It's so important. It's so important. It's so important. You bring hope and the vision of a brighter future and beauty into the world. And I want you to understand that. So proudly put on your costume. Because seriously, some of you would never have clicked on this video except for that you saw all of this craziness going on. Because it creates your story. It created my story. And it helped me to make my point. So anything you can think of, like I could have gone a little crazier on my backdrop, that would have been cool, or whatever, but whatever you can think of to help interrupt real life and put it in its place, a magical, different, imaginative world where something else is happening, is so incredibly valuable to the human race. How amazing that we're able to do that for each other. It brings hope to everyone around you. So please be brave and create. It isn't even really about being brave. It's following what's fun, following your imagination down that path of silliness. Don't stop it and be like, oh, I gotta go do the dishes. Oh, I should be doing this. I should be doing that. No, you should be enjoying yourself and putting flowers in your hair. Or, I mean, that's just what I did. But you should be doing what you are wanting to do to express your creativity in this world, because that's what you came to this planet to do. So enjoy.